Hey, everybody. Anyone who's tuning in here. I don't think I've ever done a live video on this channel, so figured I'd test this out. I just got upgraded to StreamYard, so let's see what we got. Let's see if we're live on the old channel. There's a way to change the thumbnail on here. Probably not. Oh, thank you. All right, awesome, fantastic. So, I want to take a look at the Stuka Leader Kickstarter. Hey guys. I'm sure there won't be a huge crowd here today. This is I think my first one live, so no big deal though. That's quite all right. So, what I want to do today is I want to look at the Stuka Leader Kickstarter. I was talking to Dennis over at DVG, mentioned this this Kickstarter, you know, how close it is to the end, and I saw some updates on Facebook from Chuck Seegert, the designer. Obviously, he designed Zero Leader as well, which is a game that I've covered several times on my channel. And I think 4 or 5 videos, did a bunch of videos on Zero Leader, but really enjoyed it. And so I wanted to kind of take a look at the Kickstarter for Stuka Leader here. So let's pull her up. Ooh, there we go. I'm not. Oh, and Tim and Victor. Howdy, fellas, and everyone else. Anyone else watching? Stuka Leader. Tim, did you back Stuka Leader? So, and just heads up, full disclosure. So this is not a paid preview, not a paid look at all. I've never done that on this channel. I generally don't want to do that. I do receive review copies of games. So for instance, I received a review copy of Zero Leader from DVG, and I've gotten other games from them. So just a heads up on that. You know, I do receive games from them, but not a paid preview or anything like that. I just want to take a look at it myself. So huge fan of leader games in general. I think a lot of solitaire war gamers are. Not all of us. I've seen some comments from people, but I'm a pretty big fan. So hopefully everything looks and sounds okay, guys. Again, this is my first live broadcast, so feedback's welcome, criticisms as well, helpful ones, please. So Stuka Leader looking good. 109,000 out of a pledge of 20,000 goal, so it's definitely going to fund. 609 backers, and so 22 hours ago, as of right now, 3-ish p.m. Central Time, United States. So I don't want to play the video here because I don't think the sound will come through for you guys, and that just confuses everybody. So thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. Again, may not have a lot of people watching live right now, and that's okay. Any of you guys tuning in right now, I really appreciate it. I actually started recording a video on it, and then I said, you know, might as well just go live. It's all the same stuff. Just talk about it a little bit. Nothing deep, nothing big here. You know, no special effects like my regular videos. We're just going to look at the game. So, Stuka Leader. All right. Chuck Seegert, again, did great with Zero Leader. Based on Corsair Leader and Zero Leader, expanding gameplay from the previous 2 games. Okay. You were in command of a German aerial squadron in Europe in World War II. Aircraft including the Messerschmitt Me-109, Me-262, Heinkel HE-111, Focke-Wulf FW-190, and the eponymous Junkers Ju-87 Stuka. Stuka, baby. So what's funny is a side note on this. There is now, I don't know if there's been a Stuka solitaire game before. There is now, I think, 3 in development that I've heard of. There is Stuka Leader, obviously, that we're looking at today. There is a Stuka game from Compass, and there's a Stuka game from Lock and Load Publishing. So I think it's interesting that there's suddenly 3 Stuka games. No, hey David, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. So no commentary on order of who came first. I don't care about that. I'm not worried about that. Just interesting that there's literally 3 Stuka games in development, solitaire Stuka games, when before now there was none, at least no major ones, maybe. So, all right. Of course, mix of pilots and aircraft, pretty standard leader stuff. Additional aspects of German operations, such as fuel barrels, wounds, and bailouts. Okay. Now, looking at a pilot here, looks like they went with a little bit more stylized with the name, some of the text, right? Some of the fonts. I do like the different display, though. It's not quite as generic as some of the older leader games. I love the older leader games. I've talked about this before. Hornet Leader is probably my favorite. Definitely my favorite to get into the leader series, just because it's a little simpler, a little easier, has a ton of content, but not as much content. I'm sorry. It has a good amount of content, but not as much as like some of the later games. Some of the later leader games have an insane amount of content, and it's not bad by any means, but I think it's overwhelming for new people. And I think you see that on the forums. You'll see new gamers post saying, "Oh, I picked up a leader game and I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do." There's almost too much content sometimes. Again, not really a bad thing, but Hornet Leader, probably my favorite for beginners, which I've covered in my top 3 solitaire war games for newbies. All right, background, gameplay on it. You had a huge selection of German and in the Mediterranean expansions, Italian. Interesting. As you work your way through a vast selection of campaigns, unique blend of targets and goals, pretty standard for leader games. Let's see. Chuck Seegert, again, target Zero Leader, did a good job with that one. I think it was his first design too, so well done. Let's see. Okay, and I don't know Vladimir Dudas or Ben Rawlings, but always looking forward to new faces and new blood in the hobby for sure. All right. Ooh. So I like the tactical display, the game board here. Hopefully it's not too busy. And I don't know if I can make it bigger. You guys can see it on the screen here. So let's see. Maybe that. Will that do it? No, it's not going to make it bigger anyway. No big deal. That's okay. Looks maybe a little busy, but lots of good information on there, obviously. Assume it's the regular size. Yep, 17 by 22 game board like usual. All right. And I'm kind of curious to see. Again, this is my first time doing a live one on live video, so see some information. Okay. Especially on StreamYard. So I upgraded to the professional version, whatever that means, right? Definitely, I'm no professional, I'll tell you that. But all right, so 17 by 22 game board. So MSRP is 110. You get it for 75 on the Kickstarter. That sounds like a good deal. I can only imagine the amount of content you're going to get. Oh, yep, look at this. 237 pilot cards, 43 target cards, 30 event cards. So that's 300 cards, 9 campaign sheets, more than 1,000 counters. That's a lot of stuff. So, all right. And that is... Yeah, that's the base stuff. So I don't even think that includes any of the stretch goals. Probably not, huh? All right. Expansions. Here we go. Add-ons. I did hear this game has a lot of add-ons. So let's see. We got Eastern Front number 1. And I'm not going to read through every little thing, but Eastern Front number 1, Eastern Front number 2, Mediterranean number 1, Mediterranean number 2. Don't stop me, right? Spanish Civil War, the What Ifs. Well, that's kind of cool. Okay. Collection of Aces. I know they've been doing the Aces expansion for a lot of their games recently. Now videos from Chuck's Last Design, Zero Leader. Now these 2 videos here, these first 2 look like they are going to be Stuka Leader videos. I think he just did those recently. And then, okay, now Zero Leader, a mission playthrough. I believe that's also Chuck. And then Zero Leader, Big Board, Kilroy, Robert over there. Big fan of his. And then Marco. So none of my videos, what's the deal? I did a whole bunch of them for them. No, I'm just kidding. You can check those out on my channel, though, if you want to see stuff on Zero Leader. All right, so shipping, other random info. Here we go, stretch goals. So first day funding. I don't know what German word that is. Finanzert. I assume completed, done, accomplished, something like that. So we do have, obviously, it's going to be a mounted board, the tactical display, and the dogfight bomber attack pages mounted instead of paper. 25K Dunkirk campaign, some more aircraft, more campaigns, more aircraft, special dice. So it looks like they're going to have the Stuka logo on for the 0 for the 10. Another campaign, more aircraft, wooden barrels instead of counters. Who doesn't want little wooden pieces, right? Special stretch goal. See, 75K. Tactical display overlay. 1 theater-specific double-sided paper overlay to cover the game board. Okay, English game channel or English channel, I should say, and then Europe. Okay, so that was your actual game board. Up here will actually have a different, right? Different. I assume they mean right here in the tactile display part of it. Interesting. Oh no, it's gonna be. Looks like, well, yeah, probably just that middle part. Okay. Another campaign. Special stretch goal. Another one. Another. So Eastern Front, you're getting Eastern Front, English Channel covering more aircraft. Maybe getting a ton of stretch goals here. Mediterranean coverage as well. Let's see. 3 grand campaigns. That just achieved another theater-specific double-sided paper overlay, Convoy, Naval. And then looks like the next one coming up will be wooden cubes for SOs. No more writing down your SO totals. That's tough writing them down. So I'd rather have wooden cubes keep track of them. So I guess, again, who doesn't like wooden pieces, right? 115,000, tactical display overlay, ground attack, airfield. Okay, all right. So maybe we'll achieve that one. Who knows? But as of this video up, and then looking at shipping, I guess quick, shipping hot topic is always with gamers. I live in the U.S. It's not cheap, but I guess it's not. It's more expensive everywhere else. It's unfortunate. I guess only 25 in Europe doesn't seem too bad though. But I certainly wish it was cheap for everyone. You guys in Australia, Asia, everywhere else. Sorry that it is more expensive, because I know it's not DVG's fault. That's for sure. So. So I'll call you Mal if you don't mind. Mal, notice DVDs trend to go with expansions and add-ons regarding the Leader series. Not fond of that. So I will say this, and I've noticed that too. I understand the comment. I know that, I think that if you suffer from FOMO, right, fear of missing out, it's going to be a problem, because that's, if you look at the pledges, look at what you can pledge for. So base game 75 US, MSRP 100. You get Stuka Leader and the stretch goals. You're good to go with the base game, and the base game is gonna have a ton of content. Again, I don't work for DVG, but I'll just looking at it, it's gonna have a ton of content, more than you really. I won't say more than you need, but you're gonna have a lot of gameplay. If you play through everything, you're gonna be playing for dozens of hours, dozens and dozens of hours. But if you have FOMO, or if you're like, I want everything, 250 US. Oh, hey, no, hey, thanks. Nice. First time being live. So I hope to do a few more live shows in the future. Maybe more organized. This I just threw up. I literally just clicked go live. So no big deal. But I just wanted to, at least try it. Because like I said, I started recording a video covering Stuka Leader. And I decided, you know what, I just want to go live with it and talk about it. Because why not? Anyway, so yeah, $250 US for all of it. I mean, it's a lot of money. I mean, you're getting an amazing amount of content, but it is a lot of money. I understand that, it's going to be tough for some people to feel like they're missing out. And I guess that's kind of just the way DVG has gone with it, is they say, hey, there's all this content available if you want it. If you don't want it, you don't have to buy it, because the base game will have a ton of stuff. So it's a balancing act. They went one way. I know other publishers go other ways. So Lock and Load Publishing, for example, I know is the one that's gone the other way. They specifically say, they want to do basically, they'll have expansions, but it's not like DVG does it, right? It's generally you buy the game, everything comes in it. It's sometimes a little more expensive for the base game box, but that's it. Like that's it's not just the base game box. It's usually the everything box. So, David, yeah, Chuck's very very friendly, very very active. It was one of the things with Zero Leader that I had mentioned. So first of all, I thought that Zero Leader had a really good Zero Leader. I thought had a really good production, really good rule book for a leader game. Wasn't perfect, and I mentioned that in my review. It had flaws. I'd say the dogfighting was maybe not described and explained as well as it should have, and then maybe some of the sequence of play when it came to some of the combat modifiers were not as present as they should have been. So it took a little bit to figure that out, and usually had to use some resources on Board Game Geek to really get comfortable with it. But Chuck is definitely available. He was always available answering questions for Zero Leader. I expect nothing different with Stuka Leader. So that's one reason that I wanted to highlight this game, especially was the fact that Chuck's doing it, right? So He's already established himself with the Leader series, with fans. I kind of have an expectation out of him, and I'm sure he won't disappoint at all. So DVD always screws up the first print though. So I know that some games they definitely struggled with that. Corsair Leader, you can't hide that. Corsair Leader was a mess when it launched. They did release, the second edition update pack, the errata pack, which I covered on my channel a little bit. I mean, just recently, and it's been out for a few years now. But because I did a mission for Corsair Leader when this Kickstarter launched, I wanted to just have some fun with Corsair Leader again. Not the same designer, but just similar system and all that. So they definitely had some problems with Corsair Leader. Zero Leader was a lot better. I mean, Zero Leader has, I don't even know what they have for errata. If you know exactly what they have for errata, again, the rulebook could be a little clearer on probably dogfighting and then some of the combat modifiers. But when it comes to messed up, I think that they're improving. I think that they have recognized that they made mistakes with Tiger Leader. Sherman Leader, not as much. Maybe Tiger Leader for sure. And then Corsair Leader is probably the biggest, most recent one where they made some mistakes. So I think that you're seeing them improving their quality assurance ahead of time, right? They're getting that QA in, they're covering things. And then, and I don't want to say just after release, because we all want a game to be good when it comes out, right? And we want it to be well done. We don't want to have all these errors. We don't have to download a second rule book, print out 50 pages yourself, or purchase another rule book, anything like that. No one wants to have a second edition unless it adds things. We don't want a second edition that just fixes things, right? So A10 was the one. A10 was the one where they screwed up cards in both of their last prints. So was that for the Thunderbolt Apache Leader? Is that where screwed up cards in both their last prints? So is that the one you're talking about? So I have it on my shelf. I've only played it a little bit. I like the regular Leader series more than the sort of the Hex Encounter ones. It's not Hex Encounter, but it's the like grid. I don't like it as much, I guess. I mean, I had fun with Sherman Leader, but I haven't spent a lot of time with Thunderbolt Apache Leader. So B-17 Leader. Next one for me will be Phantom Leader, as I read that the B-17 one is a good one. Good odd one in the series. So yeah, no, B-17 Leader is way different than the other ones in a lot of ways. I know that the designer of B-17 Leader is doing he's doing another game as well. I think it's the Spruance Leader, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is he doing Spruance Leader, which already kickstarted? So it's it's going through like proofing, and I think it's being printed or will be printed soon. But Phantom Leader, yep, Phantom Leader's fun. It also does the different style, but I like it. There's a lot of good. I mean, I like the variety though, right? Isn't that cool? I mean, I like it. So Tim, is Zero Leader more difficult than Corsair Leader? No, not at all. Well, actually, so Zero Leader has an interesting curve. So if you play through the game, and I'll admit I've not played every campaign through beginning to end, but I've sampled throughout it. I like to with the Leader series. I'm not I get the game and I play every single campaign and every mission in a row and all that stuff. I don't really do that. This isn't how I enjoy the game. What I like to do is pick a campaign, set it up, then I'll play some missions, kind of see how I do, and then I'll freeform it for a while. I'll play some random missions from different campaigns. But with Zero Leader, right, it starts off because you're playing as a Japanese. You have the advantage. You basically have every advantage against the Americans. They have inferior aircraft and inferior pilots. So then as time goes by, they get better and your guys don't, and they get better aircraft and you don't. Not really. I mean, slightly, but not as big of a leap, right? Not that huge leap that the Americans saw during the Pacific War. So during the Pacific Theater. So what happens with Zero Leaders, if you're playing early missions, it's like almost too easy. But if you play the 1945 missions, I mean, it's almost impossible. So you kind of have that curve, right? So you can kind of tailor it how you want, what kind of game you want to play, what kind of mission, campaign. It's not just some of the earlier Leader games. It's like you pick a campaign. It's just a different flavor. With Zero Leader specifically, it's like on a curve of difficulty from easy to exceptionally hard. So Hey, Charles. No, not late, not late. Didn't advertise, didn't put a thing up, nothing. This is my first live broadcast, so thanks for anyone tuning in. Appreciate it. Just a quick little one. I want to talk about Stuka Leader, obviously. Just chit chat as we go, but no, not late. I plan to do some more live broadcasts in the future. I would like to team up with some people too, some other solitaire war game YouTubers. I've talked to a couple, talked to even a couple designers, but I kind of want to do something a little more organized, but just talk about kind of whatever as well. So not a super organized show, but I know there are some war game shows on YouTube, but I don't want to. I feel like a lot of them still don't really cover solitaire exactly. They'll mention them, but considering you have war gamers that are on YouTube and there's podcasts that they say they kind of make fun of solitaire war gamers, which I think is funny because I think solitaire war game is probably as common as face-to-face, right? People buying these games buy as many as you do a face-to-face game, and people buying face-to-face games often are playing them solitaire. So at least that's what I think. But I think so B17 B17 leader. So let's see. Is it on? Did they kickstart that? Oh, not. There it is. A B17 Flying Fortress leader. So if you're curious if that's what we were talking about or what that was what was mentioned, so it's obviously a couple years old now, or a few years old. It's been out for a while. So B17 Flying Fortress leader. So that's one that's been out for quite a while. Dean Brown, right? So he designed that one. Did he also design Spruance leader? Or we can look on old Kickstarter. Dean Brown, right? So yep. So he did Spruance leader as well. So hey, Tommy. Oh, you're covered. Hey. Anyway, if I have too much fun with this broadcast, ignore me. First leader game. So Tom says I cannot. First leader game. I just can't get behind. Really disappointed in the amount and cost of those expansions. DVG is starting to go down the wrong path. To me, the stupid game from Lock and Load is a better option. First leader game. So this is the first one you're talking about. You just can't get behind this one. I look at it like this, and that's, you have a valid point. I would never say that that's not valid or that you are not allowed to, no, you have to like it. You do not have to like it. You don't have to be happy with their business model. You can look at it and you can say, I don't like that kind of business model. Let me see if I can do maybe that one. What I look at it is, I think when I got into this hobby, I had FOMO. And so FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, right? So I would always buy like everything for something and kickstart something, and I'm all in on it. Which I'm still waiting for the Warfighter Fantasy Kickstarter. I went all in on that, which was, I don't know, around $300, which, long story, I've almost done a couple videos on that, but I didn't want to get upset with DVG when I know that they will deliver eventually. But so I can understand if you don't want to deal with the fact that you kind of get a base game, which has a ton of content, right? But do you want extra aces? You want extra aircraft, the extra theaters? Like, you have to pay for all these different expansions. I get it. I mean, we looked at it at the beginning of the video, but so 75 US, again, if you're US, 75, MSRP 110, base game with stretch goals. Okay. But if you want all in, 250 US. Okay. No. And I messed that all up. Here we go. 250 US, 370 MSRP, all in. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for anybody. I get it. I understand completely. Like, and if you think to yourself like, well, I want to play the game, but I want to play Eastern Front, I want to play Mediterranean, I want to play Spanish Civil War. Like, I don't want to have those be all these different expansions. I get it totally. I'm not going to defend DVG other than to just say that I'm okay with it because I know that you still get so much, right? And you look at the other side here, you look at the components here, there's so much stuff listed. You know, you get a ton of content, right? You know, you get a ton of content. But if you do feel like you're going to miss out on the other stuff, I get it. You may say, you know what? I don't even want to go in because then I'm going to have FOMO on the rest. And that's valid. You're not the only one like that. I'll tell you that. You're definitely not the only one. Tim, fantasy as well, taking way too long. Yeah, I mean, clearly there was a big kerfuffle with that. And kerfuffle's a legitimate word, by the way. There's a big kerfuffle with it where I think they ended up redesigning some of the systems, or at least really changing them around. I think because they want to make it that much more compatible with the rest of the Warfighter series. You know, I like the Warfighter series in general. I haven't really covered it on my channel. I think there's a lot of good content out there for Warfighters. I don't really worry about it. If something has a ton of content, I usually don't cover it. I enjoy it. It's not my favorite, but I do like it. I went all in on Warfighter Fantasy, so I'm still looking forward to it. I'm disappointed it's taking this long. And for a while, they were not really updating on their Kickstarter very much. They weren't saying too many things. But if you noticed within the last month or two, they have done a whole bunch of updates. So that's been appreciated. Long updates too, not just, we're still working on it, right? It actually is like 2 pages of text saying exactly what they're doing, what they're focused on, what the changes are. Maybe not all the changes in detail. They haven't done that yet, but you know, it is what it is. Tony, based on current trends, going in for $1 or the minimum to get into backer kit. Yeah, I mean, you know, I know that. A lot of people are trying to do that, right? And that's with any game, not just DVG games, but not just war games, regular board games, right? Hobby board games. People are starting to do that. I mean, I watched a video from, who was it? I think it's a guy who does Board Game Company, Board Game Co. I think he was saying that he goes all in on most things, just because he kind of has to for his channel and all that and the store, but that he understands that people probably should go in for $1. Now, obviously, how are these projects going to get funded? If everyone went in for $1 or whatever, right, to get into the backer kit, how are you going to fund it? And so that creates its own, you know, okay, that's its own issue, I guess. But then you say, well, then the creators of these projects should make it so that people want to fund it all the way. And it's a little back and forth. I get it, absolutely. You know, I've been screwed over with a couple Kickstarters, none by any of like DVG or Compass or anyone like that. You know, Lock and Load Publishing, those are all good. Takes time sometimes with them, as we're learning with some of these, but I've never lost my money like I have with some unknown publishers. That's probably my biggest fear now. That's why I'm pretty much done with unknown publishers. You know, if you never launched something before, I'm probably not going to back your game. So, but anyway, all right. Well, we looked at this. Any questions, you guys? We got a few people watching here, so this was just ad hoc. Yes, and sorry, Tony. Totally get it. You know, I have a lot of viewers on my channel who are not from the U.S. The majority are still U.S. I could pull up the stats, but I'm not gonna do that right now. But on my channel, you know, I'm able to look in the stats. I think it's something like 35 to 40% of my viewers are outside the United States. So I have a huge viewer base outside of the United States. And you can see that in the comments. You can see that in the comments in here. So I would hate to be a wargaming fan, or I guess any board gaming fan of anything where you have to, or importing it or you know, anything like this and having to pay those costs. I feel for you. You know, you guys have to make a choice to really invest in the hobby even more than we do, right? Us as Americans, we feel like it's an expensive hobby. Oh, it looks like the total up here just went to over 110, by the way. So was that one of their stretch goals, right? But anyway, yeah, I'm sorry, Tony. I definitely get it. Tony says they also managed to keep ramping things up, so it ends up at all in of 150. Is that on here with the shipping? So hang on, let's look at the, let's see, 105, 110, right? And that's what they're at. Yeah, they just reached 110. So look like everyone's going to get a bunch of blue wooden cubes probably. So good for them. All right, let's see. So Tony, you're talking all in, right, with the pledge and then your shipping cost of 25, right? And then are there any, and then exchange rate for you? So that's tough. It's definitely tough for sure. I get it. I mean, you guys, it's expensive for Americans. It's even more expensive for anyone overseas or, well, Canada, not overseas, but unfortunately, you still get to the privilege of spending a ton of money. Charles went mainly down the Compass Solitaire aircraft rabbit hole with 4 in hand and 3 protors, all due to B-17 Queen of the Skies and 2 variants, B-25 and Lancaster. So, Compass Solitaire aircraft hole. So, Charles, I know that you have, I'm pretty sure anyway, you've commented on many of my videos of theirs. Looking at my shelf here. America Bomber, Interceptor Ace, Defending America. I have a number of, and I used to own Night Fighter Ace. I got rid of that. Just the topic didn't interest me as much as Interceptor Ace. And then I think that's all I have on my shelf right now. But I'm always trading games around and moving games around, so I don't always keep a lot of my games. I trade them away. I give them away. I sell them unless they're a review copy. I don't sell review copies. I only will trade or give them those away. So. Yeah, they have a lot of good games. Solitaire aircraft games, Compass. They put out a lot of good solitaire games. It's a good time to be a solitaire gamer. I'll tell you that. So, well, if there's any more questions or comments, we'll answer them. We'll look at them. But other than that, I think we'll call it here. So it's half an hour. This is as much time as I wanted to spend on this. Looking at it, yeah, again, 110,000, 22 hours left as this video is up right now. I got a couple questions here before we won't tune out yet. Stay tuned. Don't turn it off yet. Tony says I backed earlier's expansion, then got B-17 and Phantom Leader. I regret having done so. Not because of the game, just too much BS, errors, delays. Yeah, I know that there's been errata. What can you say? It's not excusable, right? They need to make sure that they get that stuff fixed. I know that I don't know if it was one of the things I saw was that they were, publishing multiple expansions at the same time for different games, and I know that some of the expansions had like different colored backs than the base game. Is that correct? Right. So then when you have the cards mixed together, you could tell which one was an expansion card, which one was not. Frustrating as well. Does it always affect the gameplay? Maybe not, but frustrating. Actual full errata, I don't know all the details. I don't have all that stuff memorized, but you hate to see it in, I think that expansions, and I think that I don't want to see errata period, right? But a little bit, it may happen. But I don't when it comes to an expansion or an errata pack. I know that, for instance, the errata pack, I believe, had some errata. That's unacceptable, right? The errata pack has got to be good. They got to make sure it's good. And if you're making expansions from multiple games at the same time, make sure that they're all good. Make sure they're solid, or else spread them apart. I mean, don't overwhelm yourselves, and I don't know if they did that, or I don't know if it was just what happened, but you don't want to see that happen. Mal says, what do you think about the perspective that Kickstarter makes it hard for gaming shops as it circumvents them? Oh, absolutely. I mean, what can you say? People, you have your X amount of money, your hobby money, your fun money, whatever you want to call it. If you're spending it on Kickstarter directly, through Kickstarter to a publisher, and GameFound is one that's growing. Right? The GameFound, I know that Lock and Load Publishing is going on GameFound now, and I've noticed a lot of other projects going to GameFound. But yeah, it takes money away from a shop, right? I know that as war gamers, we don't have as many shops that stock war games. The city I live outside of is about 200,000 people, Springfield, Missouri. So not super large, but large enough that we have a few gaming stores. Only one really carries any war games, or did, and they shut down. Not because of that, but they closed shop. So now the biggest one where I live doesn't carry war games. I know there's a shop that's about an hour away that does, because Kilroy was here. If you've seen his channel, Robert, he lives near a store that has some. I haven't been out there yet, but I believe they have a bunch of war games there. So it's tough because you need to, if you want the games, you're interested in the hobby, how are you going to get them? If I was able to go down the street to get them as easily as I can by clicking, back this project or order online, I would. Fortunately, it's just made it that much easier, with the internet and everything, and Kickstarter, GameFound, etc. Sorry, just reading guys' comments over here. Quality control issues. There's some, yeah. I mean, I know they've improved, or at least I think they have. I feel they have, but That's my opinion. And I hope that, with things like Bruins Leader, it's being proofed, being checked, printing. I don't know the exact status, but I know, they're working on that, finishing that up. Stuka Leader here. Let's hope that they don't have those issues. I don't want to see a Tiger Leader again. I don't want to see Corsair Leader again, right? Like, we want to see a good product. I think that it's safe to say that all of you do. I know I do. Tony says they also time the Kickstarter, so the one closes and you pay for that within a week of a previous one closing its backer kit. Very bad timing for multiple buys. And that sounds like poor planning on their part, because if I was them, I'd be timing it, at least giving a break. So on a much different scale and idea is that so when I do my videos, I usually don't pile on video after video. You'll see channels where YouTube wargaming channels, or any channel really, but I'm talking about wargaming channels, right? Where they'll release like 3 videos in one day and then nothing for 2 weeks. It doesn't really make sense to me. I schedule my videos out, my pre-created videos, and I, every 3 days, every 4 days, and then I have one and then another, and I'll try to keep them together by topic as well. If that doesn't happen, that's okay. But I try to space them apart because I want people to have the opportunity to see them and watch them and not feel rushed. It should be the same way for them, especially from a business point of view. Just from them looking at it as a business, they should want to do that, but also because they want more eyes in their game and they want more people involved in their game and buying their game. So if I was them, that's how I would do it. Bummed that it's taken forever. Bummed that it's taken so long. They messed up, and I think they acknowledged it, and that's good. I'm glad they're at least self-aware of that. I love a lot of the products they put out. I was super excited for Warfighter Fantasy. Still excited for it, but it's a little bit more of that. Okay, I'm done waiting. It's just if it shows up, when it does, and I should say not if it does, it will. It's DVG. They put out so many games. They're not, you'll see a comment that says, well, if we even get our games, you're going to get your game. It's just taking longer than I think was fair. It's much longer than they said it would, and longer than is fair. Yep, Springfield, Mo. So I live about an hour from Wilson's Creek Battlefield. Can't wait to see Wilson's Creek, he says. So by the end of the month, doing safety, emergency management training for the hospital system. Okay, fantastic. I'm a police officer in the area here, not in Springfield, but a city outside. And, the hospital system here, we bring people there. It sounds bad, but we like the hospital system here. It's, covers a big area. Cox and Mercer, 2 big hospitals here. So, and all you people here from overseas are like, what are you talking about? But anyway, Wilson's Creek Battlefield. So I live on a mile away, maybe less. And I was fortunate enough, for those who don't know, I participated in the playtesting for Thunder at Dawn, the Battle of Wilson's Creek blind swords created by Herman Lutmetal, although the Thunder at Dawn was created by Claude Whalen, designed by him. I was able to do playtesting, and I did some scouting in it. So I was able to take pictures and send some video to those guys to help them in the map design and designing the rules for it and everything. So fantastic battlefield. You're going to have a lot of fun checking that one out for sure. Charles says, same, not been to all the stores in the San Diego area. But I hear Hex Encounter games are not very available. Yeah, I mean, man, if I had I wish I had a great store. I would go there and spend some money. I'd still end up you'd have to buy some stuff online. You just really would. You'd have to nowadays. But I would love to be able to go to a store, and I'm sure everyone says that. They're just not that available. There was one store that stocked board games, and not many, and that closed just this last year, the beginning of this year. So the options are online, unfortunately. War games seem to get more popular in Europe. Many online stores are adding GMT, DVG, Flying Pig, decision games, and so on. That's awesome, Mal. We have a couple really good online shops. So I assume you mean like just online, right? Like online, but like local online stores, right? That are in your area type of thing, or that ship within Europe or within England or wherever. So we have a couple pretty good ones. Miniature Market. Again, I live 3 hours from St. Louis, and that's where Miniature Market's based out of. So that's a really good one for me. Their cheap shipping arrives like in a day. They have a lot of war games and a really good discount. So Miniature Market's probably the best online one that for me and for I think a lot of people I want to say, and there are some other online shops. There's smaller ones like Noble Knight Games. I know that a lot of people order from them as well, especially for like older games. Although they do mark up their games, which is their right. If it's an out of print game, that's their right to mark it up, sell it. 17 years law enforcement in Denver, ages ago. 1897. No, seriously. 1987, I assume. Thank you for what you did, Tom. Appreciate that. Especially up in Denver, there you probably had all kinds of fun. So, I know, right? Yeah. Not that old. Good grief. Yeah, right. None of us are. Ignore the gray and the beard. Kirk, just saw you broadcasting live. Start from the beginning. You can if you want. Welcome. We just started chatting. We started talking about Stuka Leader Kickstarter. That was the goal. And then we just started talking, just having a little conversation. People spouting off questions and talking, and much appreciated everybody for participating. First live show on my channel. I don't plan for it to be the last. I plan to do more and maybe a little more organized, ahead of time, maybe on a schedule or a little something like this where it's just sort of a topic of the Kickstarter I want to cover. It's hard to get on a schedule with that necessarily. But that's my excuse anyway. So love the Dice Tower. I know they don't cover war games a whole lot, but they'll get a random war game in, and Tom will be like, I don't know what we're gonna do with this. Yeah, he's funny. So I've met the crew, well, the older crew, I guess. I met down in Dice Tower Con in Orlando a few years ago. It's when I met Rob Oren as well, from Rob's Gaming Table. Sorry, Rob, I don't know the name of your channel, Rob Oren, but obviously he covered war games as well, on and off. So good guy. It'd be cool to have a law enforcement version of Warfighter. I think it'd be awesome. Stopping the bad guys. That'd be so cool. I know that in today's climate, it may not go over well, I guess, but not in our hobby's very supportive, and a lot of places are supportive, but who knows nowadays. So let's not go down that rabbit hole. Sorry, I brought it up. All right. Tim, another one. All right. 30 years long for 30 years. Jeez. Tim, thank you. Appreciate all you did, man. Appreciate it for sure. And I will stay safe. That's always my goal. Number one goal every day. Come home to my family. Recently, Tom opened a box. Salerno 43. His comment. Who's going to review that? So, that's hilarious. What was I going to say is that I've talked to, oh no, I can't remember her name. She'll be mad at me. I can't remember her name. I literally was just talking to her the other day. Liz Davidson, of course. Liz, she does, prolific over off like Dice Tower related. She has her own content, but she's kind of with Dice Tower a little bit as well with some stuff. And I know that Tom will give her certain games to cover, I think, that are war game related, actual war games, not just war game related. But so I'd say maybe her. I don't know if she plays Hex Encounter games, but send it to her. Or Tom, if you're watching, send it to me. Maybe I'll make a video for you for your channel. So Michael says, waiting anxiously for Atlantic Sentinels from Greg Smith Compass Games. Yes. So definitely Greg Smith, obviously. And we were talking about some of his games with Compass, well, with other people as well. Obviously, he has a million games. And they're pretty much all good, right? So we're talking about the Defending America, Interceptor Race, America Bomber. Just his style. Obviously, Hunters hunted with GMT and all that. Atlantic Sentinel. So that is the convoy one, right? Just confirm, just to make sure I'm not thinking of something else. I'm pretty sure that's one, right? It's where North Atlantic Convoy, Atlantic Sentinels. I would assume so, right? But yeah, definitely looking forward to that one for sure. And so kind of in line with that, with the talking about Compass Games. Mal's comment, by the way, your controversial Devilwoods review saved me. I did go for the Hunters and the Hunted. So no money was spent, just another direction. Yeah, absolutely. Tom, and I'm not, I'll go right back, Mal. Is that Roku in the background? Yes. So if you can see, my gaming setup. You know, you can see like sorry, it's all messed up. You can see the arm where I put my camera. You can see there's an extra light over here. And I have my clipboards, which I put player aids. I create them. I scan them. Basically, I have a whole setup. And I put a picture on Facebook once. I have a whole setup. I have like usually end up with 4, 5, 6 different player aids and things that keep the game going. So that way, when I do my playthroughs and I do my reviews, I can just talk and play, right? I'm not sitting there checking, let me check the rule book, let me do this, or pausing the video, checking, editing. It happens, of course. You just have that stuff pops up, but I try to minimize that, and I try to keep my games flowing. So, but anyway, part of that is I will have Roku, so I can watch MLB.TV. I live in Missouri, so to see my Brewers, again, you guys overseas are like, Milwaukee Brewers, what are you talking about? Baseball, American baseball. Huge fan. Like to watch them, and I can watch it on there. Other YouTube people. So anyway, all right. So back to Mal. So talking about Devil Boats review, right? So that's something I always was interested in talking about in like an interview. Maybe it was about that. What happened with that? You know, and I won't go into it right now. You know, I don't want to bore you guys with like all the details or like whatever. But obviously, yes, it was controversial. There was, for those who don't know, right, I posted that negative review. At the end of it, right, I throw the game in the trash, or I pretended to. I did, but I actually the trash was clean. Little secret. Which, by the way, was not totally my idea. Speaking of Dice Towers, inspired by the great Tom Vassell, who threw a game. Did he throw a game in the trash and then he threw it off a roof? Something like that. Or he threw it off something happened where he did something to it. People were mad, and he filmed like a follow-up video where he like threw it off a roof. Anyway, I basically took that idea of saying, like, I don't like this game, so here's what I'm going to pretend to do with it. So anyway, I was banned from the Solitaire Wargamer group for like 12 hours. The guy who banned me quit the group as a moderator, so he's no longer even there as far as I know. I was quickly unbanned by Derek Case of Single-Handed Warfare. I know he doesn't post new videos anymore, I don't think, but which that's a loss for a hobby because he was really good at it. But anyway, with that video, you know, and everything, there's a lot of good stuff from Compass that I posted a negative review. I have pushback from the designer and the publisher. Perfectly honest with you, I was contacted by the publisher with some comments on maybe changing this or that. I said no, you know, and I don't get review copies from Compass Games, and that's okay. I've also covered Compass Games since then, multiple games, and have given them glowing reviews. So if a game is good, I don't care how I got it, where I got it, if I was free or review copy or not, comped copy, whatever you want to call it. I'm always honest with my reviews, 110%. I know I'm a troublemaker. It's in my nature, I guess, right? You think I'd go with the flow, but nope. I think it's called being type A and opinionated. Maybe, I don't know. Charles, have been good, sort of. My total pre-order is down to 12. 6 solos. Jeez, Charles. I probably am at that too if I looked, right? Total pre-orders down to 12, 6 solos. Yeah. Real good, Charles. Yep, definitely. Troublemaker. Update me. Man, what do you want updated on? We've been talking about all kinds of things. From the Stuka Leader Kickstarter to Compass Games shenanigans with reviews or my review, I should say, my shenanigans. I don't want to, say the wrong thing. To is DVG doing a good job with their Kickstarters, and do they need to focus on QA a little more? Yes, they need to make sure their games come out better. By the way, they do. What happened with Warfighter Fantasy? I don't know what did happen with it. I know they're working on fixing some things, but I sure would like to get it back or get that game shipped soon. I can pull it up on here too, actually. We haven't had too many people. In fact, viewers have like tripled, so not too many people sick of me yet. Yep, I do. I do, and I don't need a reward for that, right? Of being like, and I'm not to my own horn of like, well, I'm honest and no one else is. There's lots of great reviewers, lots of great commentators. I did know that when I started doing reviews, one of my goal, like probably my number one goal, was I wanted to review solitaire war games and solitaire capable war games from the solo perspective, and I wanted to be honest. And I've always stuck with that, whether it was a review copy from a publisher, or whether it was one I purchased or was sent by a viewer. I just go with what I want. I play it, I learn it, I play it a bunch, which that's another topic for another day. Some reviewers do not play games as many times as you may think. We'll talk about that's another topic for another day. I play the crap load out of my games. You know, do I spend weeks and weeks playing them? Well, some of them, most of them no, but I spent a lot of time wargaming in general, so I get my time in. Trust me. Have France 44 from Compass. See, I had France. I got rid of it. I just never played it. I know Judd Vance is going to kill me. Night Fighter Ace. I had that one. I prefer Interceptor Ace, but same system. Solid game. Red Poppies Volume 3 Assault Artillery. I need to check out Red Poppies here. How was the Kickstarter helped you? Is it pressurizing? So do you mean the Kickstarter for Stuka Leader? I guess I'm not sure if I understand the question there. Rephrase, please, so I can understand it. I'm a simple-minded man. I'm a government worker. You got to get through this thick head. Malice, no bad blood with Compass games for me. I appreciate honest reviews. Exactly. No bad blood. Whatever. You know, I don't, you know, I mean, it's a funny story. It's funny to me, and I love telling it. I did a recorded interview with Liz Davison, by the way. It didn't get aired because there were some audio issues, and we were supposed to redo it, and we just haven't gotten around to it because busy. Life is busy, right? But I talked a little bit more about what happened, the fallout, and then you know, it happened. I'm not going to ignore it, right? I'm not going to blow it off like it was nothing, but long term, it is nothing, right? It's one of those things that it happened. It makes a good story. It makes a great story. I tell people that know nothing about my wargaming channel that, hey, I was banned from a Facebook group for a little while and all this stuff from a video review, and they're like, really? Like, yeah, it happens. It happens. So just ticks me off. They're waiting for Warfighter Fantasy tweaked hand-to-hand combat. It took so long. How much do you want to bet that the new Warfighter Africa will be the old system? So I think it will, Tony. So I'm pretty sure that, speaking of old system, right? So Warfighter Fantasy. So first of all, let's talk about Warfighter Fantasy for a second. The initial date, May 2021, right? So estimated delivery. You guys, I know you probably can't see it on here, but May 2021, right? So we are, as of this month, a year past the data was supposed to be delivered. Very unfortunate. And yes, referencing the hand-to-hand combat, they mentioned that somewhere, and I can't, you know, I mean, I'm not the official word, but fairly certain that I read recently, they mentioned that the system they have in Warfighter Fantasy is going to be, specifically the hand-to-hand, is going to be a little different than will be in the new Warfighter Africa. Is that the next one? Is that the name of the next one? I know they said that basically they're not going to have it. They're just not going to be able to have it fully in transferred over to the new game, which, oh boy, you know, could be trouble for them. But hey, see you, Victor. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, anyone's got to go. That's fine. I think we'll probably cut it out in an hour. I intended to do a 10-minute video, so we're gonna get to an hour, but I'll stop it at an hour. So, comments, suggestions, yell at me, thank me, don't thank me. I don't care. Say something. Miniature gaming. Oh no, you miniature gamers. All right, I'm shutting it down now. Actually, yep, we're shutting it down. And where's the end broadcast button? So I do not do miniature gaming. I cannot paint. Yep, I got no painting skills. I'm not a creative type. I know I make videos, make wargaming videos. That's the extent of my creating, right? I don't draw. I don't paint. I don't do art. I'm kind of a practical guy. I think it kind of comes through in my videos. That's why I do them the way I do them, right? It's because like practical and very like upfront, very honest. That's what I like. That's what I don't like. That's it. October now for Warfighter Fantasy. Yeah, probably. I mean, I know there was a last update moving forward on the expansions. April. What was that? April. So a few weeks ago. Talking about moving forward on the expansions. So Paladin card. Actually, I like the artwork on it, but yep. See you, Victor. Miniature gaming about 2 years ago and actually taught myself to paint. The resources on YouTube are endless. Yeah. And I'll say, so Rob Warren, I mentioned earlier, you know, meeting him at Dice Tower Con a few years ago. He does fantastic painting, all kinds of cool stuff. So He used to have like some tutorials and resources. I know that he's had some stuff going on in his personal life, and then he moved. He hasn't done a lot of those painting videos, but I think he wants to get back to it. I think he built a huge table, and he wants to get back to it. So let's bring up Stuka Leader. We'll probably end at least with that on the screen. The final, that was the beginning topic. Well, it's gone up from, what was it, like 108 when we started to 110. So I've made them money. I'm just kidding. Bob, I like Axes and Allies. They're a comparable hex-based game for an extreme low attention span beginner. Yeah, there's definitely anyone who sees this, tell Bob some beginner games. It's a comparable hex-based game for an extreme low attention span beginner. Yes, I want to. So Celis from Revolution Games, part of the Battle of the Bulge. It's chit draw, so it's 2-player, but you can play 2 people, obviously, or you can play it solo by doing chit draw to activate the different formations. It's a smaller size map, maybe 17 by 22-ish. Don't quote me on that, but smaller map, fewer counters, fairly easy rules. You could also do something like, if you want a bigger map, a mounted map, but with really simple rules. A lot of counters, sort of, but really simple rules. Battle for Germany, the deluxe edition from Decision Games. Excellent. Again, 2-player, or you can play it solitaire. It doesn't have a solitaire mode, but you can play it solitaire. Or for a solo only, maybe Scream, Aim, Fire from Tiny Battle Publishing. So that is Hex Encounter, and it's straight solitaire. It's super simple, plays super quick, and easy to learn. You flip some cards over, play it. That one may be the one to go for. So UG Games having their printing done in China, which may explain delays. Yeah, fortunately, I think it's a big thing with a lot of gaming publishers, and then obviously other industries as well, unfortunately. John McDonald, greetings from Belgium, by the way. Greetings. I know I mentioned earlier that my channel, I never thought this would be the case, but I was looking at these statistics earlier, and I think something like 35% of my viewers are outside of the United States. So although I am very American, I have a lot of non-American viewers, and I appreciate all of you. Yeah, no problem, Bob. I mean, there's so many. It's hard, right? It's always hard when someone's like, "Hey, what should I play?" It's like, here's 1,000 choices. But those are a few that I know personally I really enjoy, and I think they could work. Tony, I really dislike the gloss level on the DVG maps boards. Yeah, they're glossy. It's not a matte finish. I think a matte finish would be nicer, so it's not as glossy and reflective with light. Feel a lot of light on it, just like right in your eyes. Mal, as you have the Worthington game in the background, I think there is also an easy Battle of the Bulge game from them. So yes, is it Bulge 1944 or Bulge 44, something like that? Yep, good call. So it is I want to say it's a full-size map, but it is super easy rules, big hex sizes, big counters, like big counters, like crazy big, thick mounted counters, pre-cut, rounded corners. Really nice, really easy to play. I've covered it on my channel as well. That was a review copy from Worthington. I played it. A little simple for my taste for like long term, but definitely a good one to get involved in. Get into, I should say. No problem, Bob. Charles, CSL has gone to a new printer, so Ray is starting to catch up on business. He's talking about Conflict Simulations Limited. Isn't that what it is, right? CSL. All right. And watching me type, it's probably got to be Conflict Simulations LLC by Ray Weiss. I've talked to him. I know we had some issues going on with Blue Panther. But yes, they are. He is printing again, or should be printing again soon. So, hey, thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Say, brother. Hey, we'll do. Absolutely. All right. And ML Greenspan, no relation to Alan Greenspan. You did an inbox review of Atlantic Wolves from Canvas Devil's Publishing. Did you keep the game? I did not. I don't even. Yeah, no. By the way, it's 1944 Battle of the Bulge. I just found the game. As you can see it down in my pile of games over here. So, no, I do not have Atlantic Wolves anymore. I found the replayability a little lacking, so I decided that I had a lot of fun with it. But then after a while, it was like, I think I'm done with this, and I'm big on that, and I'm okay with that, right? I have some games that I do have that I'm basically keeping forever. Evergreen games, right? The In Magnificent Style from Herman Lutman. I had the Victor Points Games version. As soon as Worthington got the upgraded one, I got that one. And I'm not getting rid of that one. That one's staying in my collection forever. Something like Atlantic Wolves, although I had a lot of fun with it, it didn't have the replayability, the long-term staying power for me. So, again, though, I'm not afraid to say I had fun with it, and it was worth it to me because I think that one, I backed it. Yeah, I backed it myself. It wasn't a review copy, so I sold it, which I mentioned this earlier. I do not sell review copies. I will trade them or give them away. I sell games that I buy. And that was one I had bought or backed on Kickstarter and got. I sold it, and I got most of my money back. So, I look at this like that. You're almost like renting some of these games. Why not? They're kind of an asset, not a real asset, but, they hold their value fairly well. Shipping aside. Order cheers. All right. Stuka Leader, is that what you ordered? All right, we're at an hour. Let's wrap it up here, guys. Any final thoughts, final statements? Stuka Leader looks interesting. I definitely think that it's worth checking out. So we're at 21 hours. Let's refresh it just to make sure. But I think Kickstarter updates it pretty steady here. 110,000 pledged of 20,000 goal, 615 backers, 21 hours to go. So yeah, they're definitely they're gonna be finishing up here in under a day. So, all right. Well, good seeing everybody. Good first live show. Not too bad for a first one, considering. Hey, absolutely. Hey, thanks for coming and stopping by and keeping me company. I appreciate it. So, we'll do some more in the future, guys. We'll do some organized ones, maybe. Actually, let everyone know maybe a little bit ahead of time so you can plan it. What I'd like to do is plan them around. I'd like to have maybe a show-ish, kind of like this style, just more chatting than anything, right? And center it, again, obviously Solitaire War Games is the focus, but center it around away from some of the other shows that are on already. Facebook, Mo Game Table has one, right? Him and Gimpy Gamer, they do one, and then there's a bunch of them. I don't even know. There's too many of them. There's not too many of them. But there's too many for me to remember all of them. And so maybe something like that. That's not the same day that they have theirs. So that way, just kind of have a variety of shows, right? So, hope some more live show things. Absolutely. Yeah, Charles, 3 Stuka games almost same time. Great time to game. Interesting. There's 3 of them at the same time, but. I mean, very interesting. We talked about that a little bit ago, right? It was just like, why are there 3 coming out at the same time? Not complaining. It is what it is. So, all right. Well, we're out of here. First time on live feed also where I commented. Good job, Wayne. Hey, thanks, Bob. Come back, please. Appreciate it. Hey, love to see you. Love to see everybody. Let's have some fun with this. Just casual chit chat. No pressure. So, all right, guys and gals. Thanks for chatting with me. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna end this broadcast. So. Check out Stuka Leader. If you want to back it, cool. If you don't, your choice. So give it a look. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Until next time. Later.